What's up, everybody? Good morning. Carpo here once again to make a random video about random things. Not so random. I just woke up. It's about 7:50. Well, I woke up about an hour and a half ago, but I'm just waking up. And I went to the beach yesterday, and I haven't been to the beach in a long time. I live about 2 hours from the beach in Portland, and we decided to go to the Lincoln City Kite Festival. And whenever I go on trips, it's a true test of my will, a true test of my patience, and a true test of my positive thinking, because it's something I've really been working on for a long time. And so we go down there, and my worst fears are that, Lincoln City is a small place on the coast. It's a big town, but it's on 101. Anybody who knows Highway 101 knows that there's very few ways to get to it in Oregon. So if you take it, you're going to get stuck in traffic if there's something going on. That's how it is. So I expected that. I got down there, and sure enough, hit traffic a couple miles out and just kind of sat in it, and I was patient. I was cool with it. I am not good with traffic. I am very impatient. I can't handle it. I just can't handle it. It's just one of my peeves. But I tolerated it. I got down there. Everything was fine. I was afraid that we were going to get there and not be able to find parking, which, all the parking lots were full. So I took back roads because I know the area, and I went down to, I took this nice little back road down to a turnoff and got to the beach access. And I think there's only one place in Lincoln City where you can actually drive onto the beach. So I got down there and I went down the steep ass hill, and I got out onto the kind of area where people drive, but you can also pull off onto either side, and you can only park, within like a couple hundred feet of space. So I decided to turn left and kind of go across the thicker sand to park by the other SUVs. I was driving the Honda Passport. So I put it in four-wheel drive, but it didn't engage. I wasn't paying attention. And I started cruising out on there, and usually on sand you can drive, slow and just do fine. And then some dude and his kid decided to just walk out in the front of the car and then just stand there and putter around like idiots. And when they finally moved, like 30 seconds later, I'm stuck, and I'm sitting there spinning my tires out. So, felt like an idiot. There's like 100 people around. I'm like, oh well, happens all the time. There's people driving their Hondas down there, little cars. So anyway, instead of getting frustrated with it, I patiently got out. I dug the sand from around the tires. And one guy's like, hey, you want me to get a winch? And another guy's like, oh, try rocking it. And this now, I'm like, no, I pulled the sand out from behind the tires, gave it a little lift, had my wife drive it, and it was easy. We got out of there no problem. One problem down, right? So we park on the tide line, and where high tide would definitely submerge our car to an extent, and get out of the car, kind of get some stuff ready, and we have a ways to hike down the beach to the Kite Festival. My wife gets out of the car, we get everything ready and stuff, and then she says that I was like, oh, she starts walking down the beach. She says, don't forget the keys. Don't lock keys in the car. We've done this before, and I don't do that very often, and I'm like, I'm not going to do that. It's something other people do. So I shake my pocket, the keys are in there, close the door. Then right away I thought, oh shit. Reached in my pocket, pulled out the keys. Somehow I brought my truck keys for my other car. Wrong key. So just getting stuck in the sand could have been enough to piss me off. But locking the keys in the car when I'm parked on the tide line is just not good. And it's a ways to hike down there. So I don't know if the tide's going out or in. A cop walked by, and I asked him, he said he thinks the tide's going out. I'm like, great. A cop tells me he thinks the tide's going out. That's not. So I said, screw it. I'm just going to enjoy the day, And my point to this is to not let the little things get to you, because it's so easy to ruin your day over the smallest trivial thing. And so I organized my thoughts. We walked down the beach, checked out the Kite Festival. There was no wind, so there are no kites. So we drive all the way down there, 2.5 hours, get stuck, lock the keys in the car, and then there's no kites. There's like hundreds of people waiting for something to happen, but nothing's going on. So I said, all right, I'm going to walk up to the street. You guys stay down here. I'm going to go get a coat hanger. So I went up to the street, walked down to the first place. It was like a little collectibles gift store. And they didn't even have much in there at all. And I walked in and I said, look, this is a long shot, but do you happen to have a wire coat hanger that I could buy from you? And he was a nice enough guy. He went into the back, looked around for a minute, and he's like, oh, you're in luck. And, he said, all I think is I have this plastic. He could have easily said, no, I'm sorry, I don't. But the fact that he took the time to try to help me out, shows me that, there's good humanity. People really want to help one another. So he gives me the coat hanger, and I bought 2 of these cheesy puka shell necklaces. He's like, oh, you don't have to buy anything. I'm like, no, I want to, I want to give back. I want to help to support you. You're helping to support me. I didn't say that, but I bought them. Went back down to the beach. We walked back to the car. I put the coat hanger down in there and started fiddling around. About 5 minutes in, and I got frustrated and it got stuck, and I pulled it out. I was like, going to start with the other side, because anybody who's ever used a Slim Jim knows there's 2 different methods to it. One is the push down, pop the lock up, and the other one's to pull the lock up. You never know which one's going to work on which car. I'm not an expert, but I've done it before. So I yanked the thing out, and then I went down to flip the sides, and I looked down, and the car was just unlocked. And it was like 20 seconds before that I'd asked for help. And the universe just helped me, get this thing unlocked. And I didn't even make the effort. I was just trying to get it out, and it somehow worked. And everything worked out in my behalf. And got in the car, got back, drove down to stopped at a park on the way back, and it was like nobody there. It was just perfect. And every moment of the day was a blast, It seemed to just fly by, but I got to enjoy the day. It was sunny on the beach, got some sun, got some fun, and I look back to some of the ways I used to think, and just a little bit of traffic at the beginning could have ruined my day if I wasn't able to process that. And all the things that followed, they're just constant tests of my patience. And I feel like the universe is testing me to see if I'm really as patient as I claim to be. Now, I say I'm patient, but that doesn't mean that I just go with the flow all the time. I mean, there's times when I resist, and I'm trying to diminish that resistance against what happens, resistance against just life. And I have a fascination with life now that can never be diminished, I guess. And all my years of learning and teaching myself about the meanings of behind everything and trying to figure out why things are the way they are has finally, led me to the conclusion within the last year or so that that I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I'm learning exactly the lessons I need to learn, and I'm not letting the small things in life get to me. And I'm also not yearning for anything. There was a time when I was yearning for knowledge, and I was like, I could not get enough of it. And you get to a point where all of that knowledge is just, circumstantial or speculation, and that's how you get wrapped up in belief systems. And I guess my belief system is very loosely structured. I believe that we each have our own outlook on how things are the way they are, and I think that it's really irrelevant to try to overthink it. Because I may think like I'm overthinking. I mean, I may seem like I'm overthinking things to some people. However, I'm just discussing the issues that are coming out of my mind as I'm speaking. But it's like in my day-to-day life, I'm not out there trying to find all these answers. I'm just exploring the sights around me with the answers that I already know, which are, this is beautiful, this is interesting, this is fun, and just taking my emotion as it goes. You have to train your body to really, really see the golden lining in everything, because it's there. Every single situation has a golden lining, and It's the most important lesson I've learned in my life, is to even take the most violent, brutal situation and try to find the light in it. And if you can do that, even if you feel like you're fooling yourself, over a period of time, that will go away. It will diminish to the extent that you will see the positive in everything. It's a complete alteration of your brain structure and your neural connections, your neural pathways. You have muscle memory. You also have brain memory to the extent where you can train your brain to react to things in certain ways. And that, I think, is the single most important. That's it. That's the single most important part to living a comfortable, happy life, is to train your brain to see things in a way that's beneficial and conducive to everyday life. And we know when our thought patterns aren't working for us. So if we can turn that around and see everything, not just for what it is, but for what it could be or what it might mean, we could even see the positivity in a war, or we can even see the positivity in a fight between two people. You know, if somebody gets in a fist fight, maybe somebody else that's watching learns from that. Maybe, perhaps during a war that happens, another nation might see that and choose not to go to a larger war. So, in every situation I encounter, I ask myself, what is the positive side of this? And is there one? And there always is. But, like I said, it takes time. It takes time to train your brain. But you have to live with yourself for the rest of your life. So you can choose whether you want to live in a constant negative, fear-induced state, or just love things for what they are. But, to leave on a note, acceptance does not mean that you have to ignore things. You don't have to be ignorant because you see the golden lining. It doesn't make you dumb. It doesn't make you part of the problem. What it does is you can see the problem, you try to see the positive ahead, and you see the negativity ahead, and you process that accordingly. You just see it for what it is. It's reality. It's life. And I think the deeper we think into things a little bit and why they happen, the more we can realize that maybe not everything happens for the particular reason that we understand, but it does happen, and it's not going to stop happening. So, take a deep breath, let our shields down, and just kind of absorb everything around us, and move on. I mean, it's Sunday and it's raining out. That's great. It's watering my garden, right? Peace out.